a message for my people.
Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, son.
Now this the black sheep sticking its home. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need it.
In hand, just understand my
Pockets that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to lose. You see, they told
Everybody,
me I'm
welcome
the
back to
one that's
Veterans
gonna
Minimum, the
benefit.
number one sports betting vibe on the internet. Nick Dais here, George Carmona to my left. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. You know what I realized? Someone called me out. I never move when we do that fist bump to start the show.
There's no way you just brought that up, because I looked at myself in the camera there and I was like, man, I'm really overextending here. I'm taking a full step.
You literally do that every single time. I never leave from this little station that I'm in right now. How I'm all just lined up. Just never move from here, bro.
And the weirdest part is like, I don't know if you're giving me extra power, like when you give a fist pump, but I extend out, and whenever you hit my fist, I'm like, damn, like Nick is like ready to go. Like he's been training not only jujitsu, but he's been hitting the mitts. And I will allow you to meet me in the middle next time.
All right.
Meet me halfway, bro.
Meet you halfway. Would have been nice if Derrick Henry could have met us halfway into the end zone this weekend. Once again, we fall short of an anytime touchdown parlay.
Yep.
But Patreon, we finally had a very, very good week. Shout out to you, 2 touchdowns for Josh Jacobs. You called it.
Yep.
Shout out to Puka Nacua. Shout out to Bijan Robinson. Shout out to that $1 million bet, bro.
Nick.
Listen, I'll be honest.
It's looking good.
It looks very good. So we put out a bet. George and I, the vlog is up right now if you haven't seen it. If you just go to my Instagram, it's one of the recent posts. George and I drove out to Arizona, and my last $10, I go, yo, bro, this is really dumb. It was $10 to win $1 million, and it's Jalen Hurts MVP, Bijan Robinson Offensive Player of the Year, Hutchinson for Defensive Player of the Year, and Daniel Jones Comeback Player of the Year. Right now, at the time that we're filming, if you were to make that same bet, $10 wins you $26K.
It is insane.
I just like the fact.
That's insane.
I just like the fact where it's not more likely now, because you know a quarter of the season is done, but just the fact that, boy, what a ticket to have, right?
It hit that. Yeah.
You're talking about a $970,000 difference. When you look at it in that context, it's pretty crazy. Let me ask you this, and I've made George a promise that if I hit that bet, he's getting $100K.
And why? Okay, I appreciate you for doing that. I feel like my insight would definitely played a factor into that specific bet.
So you think you should get more?
No. I'm saying 100K would be perfectly fine with me, given the fact that I was preaching Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
And this was Daniel Jones to win Comeback Player of the Year when the job was still
was not
50-50, bro.
Was not announced as the starter. No, it was not announced as the starter. And yeah. So let me this is my question
because I know we're gonna have a good night together, and so like in reality, like it's more than 100K, because whatever we spend that night, I would say is also.
Oh, dude, I'm talking about like 100K is for you, legit.
Yes,
100K is legit for you, and then you know, I'm gonna do a lot of dumb shit. That's why I've always talked about where like people in media or just in the general public gets mad at these athletes and celebrities that be 18, 19, 20, 23 years old, and they get a $200 million contract, and they're like, oh, how appalling their actions, and they don't know what to do with their money. Yeah, they don't. They don't. I'm 34 years old. I'm going to do some dumb shit if I hit this bet.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm going to Sapphire, Crazy Horse. I'm bringing Isaiah with me. I don't know if I'm going to bring the other person that's in the control room just because he has a significant other, and I don't want to be on.
We're going.
Side.
No.
No, we're bringing them too.
Yeah.
All right, we're bringing everybody, and we're going crazy.
It's an exception. Whenever a championship is won, in this case, this is a Bettors championship. Yeah. You got to go celebrate with the boys.
Yeah. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Power rank in order the most likely from the bet that I've made?
Daniel Jones comeback player of the year is number 1, most likely. Number 2 is Bijan Robinson, offensive player of the year. 3, Hutchinson. 4, Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
And I would be willing to flip flop on 2 and 3. Like, I could see Aiden Hutchinson with the numbers he's putting up and the way teams are approaching blocking him. He's a stud, dude.
So right now he's actually the favorite for defensive player of the year. My question to you, and the reason why I asked that, I should say, is mine is Hutchinson, Daniel Jones, Bijan, Jalen Hurts. And I feel like it's a great way to start the conversation for week 4 fallout. Mind you, betting public got crushed. We talked about it being a really funky week. We said something was really suspicious, man. It felt very trappy. I remember saying it feels pretty trappy. A lot of the lines, 1.5s, 5.5s, 6.5s on the road. Betting public, ready for this? 82% of the tickets on the Chargers -6 lost outright. 75% of the tickets on Buffalo -14.5 didn't cover. 73% of the tickets on the Packers -7, they tied. Bears +1.5, 69% of the tickets, that hit. Ravens, 68% of the bets, -2.5, they got smoked. We just warned everyone, like, yo, it was a very, very suspicious weekend. It just felt off. And luckily we avoided a lot of those landmines. Shout out to Trust Me. Trust Me is back, is getting hot again, 3-1 on the year. And we'll get into everything. I do want to start though. The New York Giants got to win.
The New York Giants were the most exciting game of Sunday until the Packers Cowboys. They definitely were the best game, better than anything in the afternoon slate, minus the night game.
I could not disagree with you more.
Really?
Yeah, I think even with Jaxson Dart starting, it was all right. The swing of emotions in that game for me, bro, and shouts to my buddy Finney. He's a Giants fan, and him and I were just texting, like, you know, he had a Saquon jersey, and he blocked out the 2, put Dart over the last name. He's like, yo, we're fucking ready. We're fucking back. Nabers comes out, catches 2 passes on the first drive, draws a PI, and then Jaxson Dart. You know how I always make fun of missionary offense? They played very missionary, very 3-condom sex offense. Hey,
simple.
First read isn't there, take off running. Please start sliding. He took like 7 hits. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Here we go. Well, the one play, he breaks like a 35-yard run, gets called back for holding. He doesn't stiff arm the DB. He fucking throws a cross with the throwing hand. And then after the play, he's going like this. I'm like, oh, here we go. We just lost Nabers too. Nabers gets hurt. So it was like the swing of emotions is, yo, he scores on that first touchdown. Oh, shit. Let's go. Defense is playing well. They get the turnover on Justin Herbert. And then Malik Nabers goes down. So it was a roller coaster of emotions, bro. Like, even texting all my Giant friends that are fans, we just were like, yeah, we won. But it was that meme. It's like, we won, but at what cost? Because now I'm not saying this team is nowhere near a Super Bowl team.
No.
But the fun, and not even a playoff team, honestly, but like just the fun and the excitement and the aura of the team, it just felt different. And then for Nabers to go down, it was a bummer, bro. Yeah. It was a bummer.
I say this was the most exciting game because of everything that it had riding on it, and the fact that the rookie was going to get the start, man. It wins the weekend. No matter what weekend you start the rookie that everybody has been wanting to see, it doesn't matter what other games happen that day, that game is going to stand out. And he brought swagger. I don't think on your rant there you mentioned how good Scattaboo is. He is a game changer, bro. that player mixed with Jaxson Dart and the 3 condom sex offense is going to win you guys football games because your defense is finally awake. And I told everybody this going into the game. It was my favorite bet of the week was Toxic, even though I wanted to write it out with the Colts. I know we'll get there eventually, but
Yeah.
there's nothing about this Chargers offense that is competent enough to make a deep playoff run. This offensive line is too banged up, and it's tougher to play offensive line and constantly be pass blocking than it is to understand what you need to do on a run block, which we thought that was going to be the identity of the Chargers, and it clearly isn't. And you can't deny the fact that the Giants were only sending 4 and getting home, which is the recipe, you know this, to deep playoff runs. And to shocking people. So that's why, I think you might be a little mundane on your reaction to it and the swings of it. From an outsider's perspective looking in, that game was the game to watch.
Look, you swung me a little bit. I just think for me, there was I thought the Colts and Rams game was a lot more fun. Obviously, the 40-40 tie was super sick. But yeah, if you're thinking of Sunday, the Bucks and Eagles game was kind of underwhelming, and then Baker did Baker shit and almost brought them back, and then he threw that pick late. But staying with this game, bro, you mentioned something really interesting, and not only was it the spark of Jaxson Dart that I thought the 6.5 was enticing. Cluster injuries, right? You've heard me use that term before. It's very important. It's better if you're down your wide receiver 1, your running back 1, and your tight end 1 than you are to be down 3 defensive backs that are starters. Or in this case, with the Chargers, they were down 2 linemen, and then Joe Alt gets hurt almost immediately when the game starts. And to your point, Thibodeau, Carter, and Burns, them 3 alone, 20 QB pressures. This is what we wanted to see.
Yeah.
Carter is minus 150 to win Rookie of the Year. The next closest guy is 8-1. It's the last 2 weeks, maybe not playing in the preseason. It's those first 2 weeks, don't judge teams too much.
Mm-hmm.
Who are they week 3, 4, 5, and moving forward is who you're going to be.
Right.
And that's what I saw with this defense, man. And the line, everyone was betting on the Chargers. They're riding high, 3-0. First time they're traveling on the road that far. Remember, they played in Brazil, and then they played at home, and then they played in Vegas. So they didn't really need to travel too much. They go all the way to the East Coast, and that offensive line was an issue. He was pressured on almost half of his dropbacks. 47.7% of the dropbacks, if you want to be super accurate and actually technically guy. 47.7%. And the guy that stepped in for Joe Alt, Austin Desulis, 6 pressures he gave up. And that was the thing. You saw everything that you wanted from that defense show up. Now, what happens from here moving forward? They're 2-point favorites against the Saints. Should they be 2-point favorites against anyone on the road? No. Stay the fuck away from that game. Toxic one early. Do not bet that. Do not bet that one.
Yeah.
But for me, like I said, just to put a bow on this conversation, because I don't know how many people are spending this much time on a Giants game, unless they are a Giants fan. I know. Yeah,
you're just there. You guys are the new shiny toy in the NFL. Yeah. By the way, I think there's a couple of things to be said too about the way that Daboll embraced him after the game and hugged him. It was such a shoulder check. If you go back and watch it, that not only is Jaxson Dart taking the hits on the field, but even after the game from the head coach, that was a career-saving win for Daboll. So I get it, but you can't be doing that to the starting QB, not to the face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the Russell Wilson at the end of the game too, when Dart's giving the speech in the locker room and Russell Wilson gives him the eyes.
Yeah, that was going around. A lot of people were like, yo, he's trying to line him up. he's trying to line him up and take him out. What was the chick with the ice skating way back? Nancy Kerrigan?
No, Tanya Harding. boom,
Yeah,
break the
that's
kneecaps,
little,
bro.
little Russell Harding going on over there, the way he was staring at Jaxson Dart. But yeah, man, look, they play the Saints this week coming up. Should win. I think Rattlers played a lot better than people think.
Yeah,
You know, like, all right, they got blown out against Seattle. Seattle might have a top 5 defense, and they kept that game close against Buffalo. Tell you the truth, I feel a little worse about Buffalo than I did prior to last week, even though they won 31-19. I didn't like what I'm missing. We'll get to them in just a little bit.
for sure.
Last thing I'll say on this, the turf. Everyone's talking about the turf in MetLife. George, you ready for this?
Yes.
So,
I feel like we've talked about this before.
Oh, we've talked about it before.
We've covered this. What was the last big injury that happened here?
I mean, bro, like the Achilles with Aaron Rodgers was one of them, right? And here's the thing, with the turf, the issue with the turf, the only way it's going to get overturned is this summer coming up with the World Cup. The World Cup final is going to be there. I don't know how knowledgeable, I would assume they are, but FIFA is one of the most corrupt organizations on the planet. You think the NCAA is bad, you should check out what the crazy shit FIFA does. Are they familiar with this turf issue? You're going to have the World Cup final. It's literally the biggest sporting event on the fucking planet in the universe.
Right.
You want that field to determine the health status of an Mbappe or Lamine Yamal or these guys on Spain, France, Brazil, whatever team is going to be in the World Cup final? Spain. But are they going to be like, yo, we got to throw grass in there? And then when they throw the grass in there, or the Giants, and they're just like, oh, let's just leave that. Everyone's been begging for it. Notable injuries suffered on MetLife Stadium turf. Nick Bosa, Solomon Thomas, Sterling Shepard, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jabril Peppers, Kyle Fuller, Malik Nabers. Those are just ACLs. Then you got Garoppolo ankle, Achilles tear for Sterling Shepard. Poor guy suffered 2 fucking catastrophic injuries. So now any catch Sterling Shepard makes, you're like, God bless that dude. Good for him. Shane Lemieux, a patellar tendon tear. You had an Achilles for Rodgers, Achilles for Al Woods. Jalen Phillips got hurt on that turf also. Like, there's just something about that turf. And to me, it's going to take the World Cup coming into town for them to be like, hey, we're going to have to fix this. Because if you're the Real Madrids of the world, you're Bayern Munich, you're all these big clubs, and you're paying dudes the money that they make out there. Look, I'm wearing an Arsenal jersey right now. Shout out to the GOAT, Thierry Henry. I'm getting the middle fingers from Jory in the control room. Shout out Chelsea. They're giving these guys a lot of money, bro. And for them to just come out here and get hurt on those kind of fields, I think that's when you'll see a change. But for now, you're going to have to deal with it in MetLife, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah. I have heard all these reports, and to be honest, bro, maybe it's the city of New York. Like, I don't know if it's something about the bright lights and on the biggest stage inside of MetLife. It's different. But yeah, I wonder if FIFA will really step in and do something.
I think they will. I think they'll have to. And that's the only way you'll see changes. That's the only reason why I'm bringing it up. Like, the World Cup is that massive of an event that's literally the only way that you're going to see changes, or else they're just going to keep rolling out the turf. And what's crazy is they did change the turf recently, but they didn't make too much improvement. Like, they got one shitty turf to another shitty turf.
How does this happen? You guys, they make millions of fucking dollars. The stadium.
How many times have I ranted about MetLife Stadium, bro? I told you it's the worst stadium on the planet. Not even the turf. It's just a big block of just metal. There's nothing cool about it. It sucks. It's in the middle of mad traffic. Like, that shit is ass. It's the worst stadium. When you play Madden and you go to franchise mode and you pick the stadium that they give you, that's MetLife Stadium. There's nothing cool about it. There's no Jumbotron. It's not a dome. It's not nothing. There's nothing cool about MetLife. And just to put a bow in this whole conversation, even with the Giants game, like, they actually felt like a home game for the first time in a very long time because the crowd was excited for Jaxson Dart. So, yeah, let us know what you guys think about this turf issue. It's definitely a very, very big topic. I would like to discuss one game in particular. It's the Ravens and Chiefs.
Let's do it.
Okay. I hate to break it to everyone. Right now, at this moment, I think the Chiefs go back to the Super Bowl.
That convinced, huh?
Yeah. Look, they're 2-2, but they've lost to two teams that are really, really good.
Yeah.
Right? They lost to the Eagles and they lost in division to the Chargers, who always play them out. And also that game was in Brazil. They got back Xavier Worthy. They're getting Rashid Rice back. They got Pacheco back now, healthy full time. Their defense, it's going to adjust because they lost some pieces, but you still got Spagnuolo coming back in the playoffs. They put a thumping on the Ravens. Bad. And they just own the Ravens. I think it's like 6-1 against Lamar and the Ravens is what Kansas City is. That looked like the old Chiefs of the past. Now, could you argue it's the Ravens and back-to-back weeks they're giving up 30 points? And then even week 1 they gave up 40.
The defense isn't solid.
The defense
and they were banged up yesterday, too. They lost a couple of key guys. Losing Humphrey is never a good sign for that secondary.
Yeah, and I just wonder if, like, bro, what's the strength and conditioning program in San Francisco and Baltimore? Like, why are all the, like, we give you a pass a couple of years ago that you had the most guys injured in the league. But this is like a common theme, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're losing guys left and right to crazy injuries. The one defensive lineman, I'm blanking on his name, number 92, they just neck injury. They just announced that he's out and he's one of their better players. Right? The whole secondary, Kyle Hamilton with some weird ass comments like, yeah, we're just not playing good. We need to collectively all play better. It kind of felt like a shot to the offense. Derrick Henry is a complete non-factor if the team falls down 10-0 or 2 possessions. You're like, yo, what the fuck? When you're winning, he's the best running back in the league. And to me, I was just looking at the Chiefs, bro, and I think they might be back. I think
they were finally like moving the ball in big ways downfield. Like, you know what I mean? They were hitting their deep shots. Worthy, their other little guy. I thought I was about to say Thornton.
No,
was it
Hollywood
Thornton?
Brown.
Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
And Thornton did have a play yesterday, but I'm starting to see it, but I also am a firm believer that this Ravens team, who right now is still favorites to win that division, you could get them at plus 300 to not make the playoffs. This could be a point in time where, you know, you start to see this number going the other way. If the Steelers start going on a rise, and you know what I know they torched the Browns defense, but you still got to face them one more time. They play 5 of their division games in the last 8 weeks. Can they get healthy and figured out before then? Or are we going to see here before they get into the division games that they've lost the ropes? So that was one bet that kind of stuck out to me as maybe I parlay this one with another team that I don't want to make the playoffs later on in this show. Maybe it's the Packers.
Okay, yeah.
Plus 300.
Yeah. So, you know, you bring up an interesting point about the Ravens, and you look at their schedule. This week they play the Texans, then they play the Rams, right? Both games are at home. Then they have a bye week in week 7. When they come back from the bye, they have home Chicago, then 3 straight road games. The 3 straight road games, Miami, Minnesota, Cleveland, home Jets, home Bengals, home Pittsburgh. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? They're probably going to be 2-4 going into the bye week. Week 7 is when we
click the buy button.
Click the buy button on the Ravens, bro. Because if you think of Pittsburgh plays Cleveland and Cincinnati in the next 2. They're 3-1. Is there not a more fraud check team than the Steelers right now? They might be 5-1, and everyone's like, oh, if you're like a wild card team, you're like, oh, I hope I play you in the first round.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers, he's doing great for what they're asking him to do. But a lot of it is like 2-3 step dropbacks, get the ball out quick. He wants nothing to do with getting hit. He's in his 40s.
Correct.
I mean, who wants to get hit anyway? But these older quarterbacks, Tom Brady, I watched a recent interview from Gronkowski, and he said if you could guarantee Brady wouldn't get hit, he'd still be playing. I was like, yo, bro, this guy's 4.45 on the 40, 360. Yeah, I don't want to get hit. But I think the Ravens, if we parlay something with like Ravens to make the playoffs or win the division with Steelers to miss the playoffs around that week 7, I think that's what we got. Well, we're clipping this shit. Dom, we're clipping this shit. Flamingo, we're clipping this shit because I think that's the spot. And we did, I got to give us credit, bro. last year we were on the Rams in this exact scenario, 1-3, 1-4, Bucks 2-4. And we highlighted the Bucks because of the schedule could come back and win the division. And then the Rams with the injuries that the players were going to return, we're going to come back and win the division, make the playoffs. You got to watch out for the Ravens. I think this is where we sell on the Ravens and we buy back later.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like this because I mean, I felt like the number was really interesting at this moment in time, and it was very telling on the future of this division, and it can get worse. And we've seen where the books go crazy with it. Now, if only Joe Burrow was still, you know, in the division, that would be
so that's why I'm saying, right, at the time that we're recording, it's during this Bengals and Broncos game. It's 21-3 at the start of the fourth quarter, right? So the Bengals move to 2-2. Pittsburgh is 3-1. Cleveland, we'll get to Cleveland in just a second. I'm not buying Pittsburgh. Look at who they've beat. They beat the Jets. Barely. A 60-yard field goal was needed.
Patriots.
They beat the Patriots at home. Okay. Cool. And then you beat Carson Wentz in Dublin. All right. You haven't played. And who are you playing next? You play Cleveland and Cincinnati next. Backup and backup. That's why I'm saying Pittsburgh's going to be 5-1. Like, oh shit, no one's talking about the Steelers. Well, there's a reason why, because it is. So I think it's something to definitely monitor. And the last thing I'll say is, remember the Ravens last year? They had just lost McDonald. He became the head coach for the Seahawks. And then their defense kind of started off slow, and then they made some adjustments, and then they got hot. Like they seem to always do. Come that bye week, you're going to be like, all right, bro, listen, Chicago's better than we thought, but we got them at home. I'm telling you, bro, that bye week, when they come back, that's where we fucking buy on the Ravens. But they're going to have to do something, because right now they're on pace for over 520 points this year to give up on defense. That's like historically bad.
Yeah.
And I know this started as a pro Chiefs thing, and it turned into like anti-Baltimore. The reason why I think they might be back is because Mahomes, he's hearing the things. It's Josh Allen's league, right? All the stuff that he's been hearing. He's no longer the best quarterback on a week-to-week basis. And you know what? Like, I kind of agree with that. I think on a week-to-week basis, Josh Allen is clearly the best player in the league.
Correct.
Now, fourth quarter, down 4, who would I want? Hurts and Mahomes. One game playoffs on the road, who would I want? Mahomes. We haven't seen Hurts do it on the road. So I still want Pat when it matters most. But I just think on a night-to-night basis, week-to-week basis, I should say, I don't think he's the best quarterback in the league. But it was his 18th career game with 4 touchdown passes.
Flawless.
So, yeah, he played great. And it's going back to, like, speed. They're going to get Rashid Rice back, too. Like, you got to watch out for the Chiefs, bro. So I like what I saw from Kansas City. I think they're back. And I think they're going to piss off a lot of people. I think they go back. Right now, quarter of the year, I'm holding Bills tickets, right? Remember
sure.
my theory? How do I feel holding a ticket betting against another team or player? All my Bills futures, I'm like, just don't play Kansas City, bro.
Right.
Just don't play Kansas City. Because when it matters most, he's going to get you. And that's what I still think. And yesterday I was like, man, Karlaftis making plays. Chris Jones making plays, secondary flying around. Just be prepared for it to maybe be Chiefs Kingdom again.
Yeah, man. It was a big moment, and I think just it's a bad spot for the Ravens at this moment in time. So, like, I'm not fully buying the stock. I also know that when the Chiefs are going at full strength, their run game looks a lot better than what it has. Now, obviously, what the Ravens had injury-wise in the secondary allotted for a lot of what Mahomes was able to do with those guys, and you didn't necessarily need to sit on the ball as much. But, I mean, you were up by 17. Like, you got to start establishing who's going to be, the back that you're going to give 20 carries to when it matters most, and you can't be passing the ball the entire time. So that's the one part that I'm holding out on the Chiefs. And I think it's time to talk about the Packers-Cowboys game, bro. I mean, this I guess entertainment wise was a perfect nightcap. it's fun to watch the Cowboys play because they don't play any defense, and you just know it's going to be fireworks. Shout out to the people who bet the over. Packers to miss playoffs, plus 320. They were the other team that right now I'm seeing a lot of issues with at offensive line. When the Cowboys are able to generate pressure on you, there's an issue. And although Josh Jacobs going off, scoring rushing touchdowns in all but one game this year, scoring 2 yesterday, that's don't look at the stat book and instead look at all the different injuries they've had up front. And I can't buy into that going into the second half of the year. And so they're a team that I'm looking to fade, especially against a competent defense. How did you feel about this game?
I kind of want to talk about overtime.
Okay, let's jump to it.
I still don't like it, bro. I still don't like the overtime. Can I give you what I would fix?
Yeah.
All right, so overtime in the regular season, it ends automatically with a touchdown. In the playoffs, if you score a touchdown first, the other team gets to have a rebuttal. Then if they score again, right, now it's sudden death, first score wins. In the regular season, a field goal don't end it. You get a chance to respond with a field goal. And then from there, it's first come, first serve kind of thing. I feel like overtime should be both teams get the ball once, right? Like how you had yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But then there should be no time limit. It should just be like, because I get a possession, you get a possession, and then it's sudden death, bro. This tie shit is fucking whack, bro. Well, I don't like ties.
The Cowboys sat on the ball too. Like whatever team gets the ball first, yeah, they're going to obviously just sit on it and not.
Well, the moment it becomes 2nd and 10, it's like, all right, let's just.
Yeah, watch the play clock go down. Like you're playing like the time element when that doesn't need to happen. College football has figured this out. I don't understand why we don't just do college football, start at the 25, and we just go back and forth. Now, I don't agree with college football going for the 2-point conversion after the second overtime. I think you figured it out with the first 2 overtimes, and you just keep repeating that until you have a winner. I'm not a big fan of keeping the time element into this. So I agree with you. I also just think that we're past the point of having ties. Like, what the fuck are we doing? We're going to change everything except for the ability to understand who won the game. Like, it's bad enough that we get to push some of these bets, but to push a whole ass game is ridiculous.
I thought this game was amazing for Dak Prescott. I think he proved a lot of people. Dak again, I thought he was the MVP 2 years ago.
He's looking solid.
He looks really good. He's going to have to be putting up big numbers. Yesterday's game, 319 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Just looks total command of the offense. No CeeDee Lamb. The line was so suspect all week. It just stayed on 7. I was like, way too many people are like, Packers off the loss, blowout. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Just feels really weird. Anytime a line don't move all week, I'm just like, what do they know? What do they know? I think Dak is balling out. 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the year, and he's lighting it up. And he's, the Cowboys are going to be a tough out from an offensive standpoint. But to your point, they revived Caleb Williams' career. They fucking duped us with Russell Wilson. Week 1, they contained the passing game of the Eagles, but Jalen Hurts was running wild. Their defense can't do shit. It was funny because Romeo Doubs scored multiple touchdowns, and one of them was on Deron Bland, who they paid him $90 million after they got rid of Michael Parsons. And now that's 2 corners in the last 5 years. They've paid big money that duped them into thinking they were good because they had a bunch of interceptions. Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland. Like, they're not good corners. They just feasted in one career year, and then they duped everyone. Bro, it's the same thing like watching the Jet game tonight. Sauce Gardner, since week 1 of 2024, has the most holding and defensive penalties on a DB in the league. he's just become a flashy name, like a cool name. Like his nickname is Sauce. Oh, Sauce Gardner. It's like, yeah, he hasn't been good in a while. He hasn't been good since his second year in the league. Like he just hasn't been good.
Yeah.
And with the Cowboys, it's just going to be a shootout every time. When in regards to the Packers, you know, for as much as they spread the ball around to everyone, I still feel like they need that number one alpha. Like it's weird, right? Whenever they struggle and they don't win, it's like they need a number one receiver. And then when they're spreading the ball around and Jordan Love throws for 250 yards and 4 touchdowns, you're like, oh, everyone eats. It's like, well, you still need a guy when it matters.
For sure.
And it seems like it's become Tucker Kraft.
I would say Golden got a couple of big time receptions down the stretch, like on some third down and gotta have it's him getting the ball. I vividly remember one like curl route that was like 15 yards deep in the teeth of the defense. That's meaningful, right? That's the number one option on that big time possession. I just think that the Packers run the ball really well. And this is something that I was going to bring up with the Chargers, where I was saying it's tougher to be a offensive line that is banged up with a whole bunch of new guys and pass block than it is to move forward and understand who you need to get run blocking it. And that's what the Packers have figured out. And Josh Jacobs is elite, and it sucks that, you know, he doesn't have a number one wide receiver, because we saw it with the Eagles last year, man, where defenses have to make a decision. And I think we kind of run into this with an issue with Bijan Robinson too, where all the eyes are on you, but you need that number one receiver to take some double teams and to have the schemes built up to stop them rather than you. So it's hurting him, but that's just how good Josh Jacobs is in order to, you know, bounce back. Like, should have had the ladder yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
False start penalties at the 1 twice. And both of those fucked Matty Betts.
Oh.
And so we all could have won, right? Matty Betts could have had 1 inch further on the Robert Kraft touchdown, and I could have got the first false start penalty to not be a false start, and everybody would have been happy. That sucks for him though, man. That's $325,000 lost on by centimeters.
You know what's crazy? When you lose that kind of money, I feel like any reaction is warranted.
For sure.
But then I talked to some friends and they're like, yo, this fucking guy dropped the pass. I'm like, yo, how much that cost you? $20? And I'm like,
Cool it.
chill, bro. So like, I get it. I get it. But again, to each their own, and we don't want to count people's pockets. To them, that $20 might be something significant. I just feel like if I'm ever going to curse out an athlete, which I would never do anyway. Do I do it in the private of my own home? Yeah. On a social platform? No. Have I said a lot of things that are very offensive and can get me in trouble? Absolutely. I feel like every sports fan has at some point. But to do it to like DM someone, no. But I'm just saying, I don't agree, but I would understand if you did.
For sure.
It would be crazy. Now, you mentioned the Bijan Robinson. Just real quick, just want to touch on that. Bijan Robinson right now is the second favorite to win Offensive Player of the Year, but behind Puka Nacua. So if you were listening to the pod, I said Puka and Bijan. So I got tickets on both. The main pick is Bijan, right? I love what I saw from Bijan. I love what I saw from the Falcons. I figured out the Falcons, bro. After 4 games, I figured them out.
Hit me with it.
They got to just play indoors. Think about it. They played well in Minnesota, well enough where they controlled, you know, Vikings defense was bend but don't break, but you don't got to worry about weather, even though it's September and they played in Carolina. Just, they're a team. If they play indoors, cool. Take them. And that's what I think you saw. London, Pitts, Bijan, they all went crazy. All of them scored touchdowns. They really balled out. And the Commanders, they just didn't have enough to keep up with them. They got into a shootout, and they're going to lose those every day of the week. They're just not a team that could play in shootouts without Jaden Daniels. Now, if they have Jaden Daniels, way different. But, yeah, Atlanta, I figured them out, bro. They play indoors. Take them. And take them with confidence. They were a 2-point underdog when we recorded last week, and then they ruled out Jaden Daniels. I mean, I liked it even with Jaden Daniels. That was one of the picks that hit this week. And when they play indoors, man, And you saw the one touchdown Bijan Robinson had. He put like 3 people in a blender. And that's what we were saying. It's like, we're gonna need the highlights, the wild plays. Sure. So yeah, he's right now. It's Puka plus 300, Bijan plus 400, and then you have Jonathan Taylor coming in right after them, and then Jackson Smith and Jigba is 11-1. So that's your top 4 right there. Yeah, he's second in yards on the Seahawks. So that's all I wanted to say for the Falcons.
I was gonna say let's cool it with giving Tyler Algier the ball 16 times a game. Let's limit that number. I understand that Bijan goes out and he plays receiver, but Bijan had 4 receptions yesterday, big time receptions.
Yeah, but like I can't get mad if Bijan's gonna get 20 touches a game. I don't care how many Algier gets. I just don't want it to get to a point where Algier is getting 17 touches and Bijan gets 9. Then I'm gonna be bitching and moaning.
I'm just saying it's getting too close for my liking, Nick. And for this bet, I just want to keep it. Let's keep it to a cool 10. You know what I mean? And by the way, we don't need Bijan Robinson off the field ever. There was a couple of times where they were like starting the drive with Algier and not even putting Bijan at receiver. And it's like, Falcons, what are you doing? Like, you're making the defense's day when they don't see Bijan Robinson in the package. They'll re-up on that shit all day. But the last thing I'll leave off on with this game is Marcus Mariota. Even without you being announced starter, I had the confidence to pick you in my anytime touchdown parlay. And you played like you did not want to be the starting quarterback of the Commanders. And I understand. I think you don't want that role. You want to go back to holding clipboards. I don't understand what the difference was from last week to this week. If it was that big hit that was down the field after on the fumble that he had, but he was 1 for 8 on 3rd downs. You need to run the fucking ball, bro.
Yeah.
There were so many reads too where he didn't keep it. Blew my mind. Enough about the Commanders. Bad team.
Yeah.
Arabia was so right. At the beginning, he said, we're fucking old.
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin we should have got rid of him.
They're one of the oldest teams in the league, and it's all covered up because Jaden Daniels is 23, 24 years old.
Yeah.
Like that, they have a really old roster. Even the moves they made in the offseason.
Old.
Bro, what about they put Bobby Wagner on Bijan Robinson?
Food, bro.
Yeah, that was bad.
Food.
Bad. Poor Bobby. One of the best of his generation. But yeah, at this point, Bijan, 23 years old. Another reason, to George's point, leave him on the field. What are you doing?
That's what I'm saying.
You got no wear and tear on him.
Did you see that play where Aaron Rodgers in Dublin just stood behind the tush push happening with his hands on his hips?
Yeah.
You can literally do that with Bijan Robinson, and he would still attract the double team from the defense.
Yeah.
Dead ass.
Yeah. The last game I want to talk about is Rams and Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Can I give you a hot take? Well, actually, we'll talk about Eagles Bucks after, but Rams and Colts, can I give you a hot take?
Go ahead.
I think the Rams are the best team in football.
I really can't disagree with you, bro. They move the ball down the field on anybody.
Stafford balling, bro. Stafford balling. Devontae in the red zone is literally the reason why I was all in on the Rams to win the NFC this year, because he replaces Cooper Kupp. And the heyday of this Rams era with Stafford was because Cooper Kupp was a problem in the red zone. And it seems like everything is, yo, Puka, you fucking run wild until we get inside the 20. Then Devontae's like, I got this, young blood. Don't worry. Because that's what it seems to be. Devontae Adams has scored in back-to-back games. And, you know, Puka hit the end zone this weekend as well. Leads the league in catches and in receiving yards right now. By 102 yards, he leads the league in receiving yards. Puka's on fire. Stafford's on fire. Tutu Atwell ran loose. And I told you, like, their offense is so good that they're going to take a shot with Tutu Atwell at least 2-3 times a game. And then it connected for like an 80-something yard touchdown that Stafford had. And their defense, they make plays. Their defense make plays. They have a stud on the defensive line in Jared Verse that you coined Defensive Player of the Year coming into this. And I just think, like, even though they lost to the Eagles, I felt better about them than I did about Philly. And Philly's 4-0, and the Rams are 3-1. I feel better about the Rams than I do about Philly.
They Jared Verse yesterday, 6 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, 2 QB hits, forced fumble. Like, He's unguardable, man. And this whole Rams team is just extremely impressive. It was a pretty much copy and paste from last year. They were just young and needed an extra year. This is a product of drafting extremely well, and especially on the defensive side. And we've seen it now in back-to-back years. This Colts team, though, they beat themselves.
Oh, without a doubt.
They beat themselves. Yeah. This Colts team is still a problem in the AFC.
I feel good about them too, bro.
Yes.
Like, look, I felt bad for you because you had the 3.5 in one of your picks. I had the 3.5 on Patreon for the Rams. I feel like I got lucky on that. That play by Mitchell. That one doesn't upset me as much as the one where they dropped the ball. You know, like the Deshaun Jackson. Jonathan Taylor did it last year, fucked up a parlay when he dropped it at the 1. That one is dumber, where like so many people like high step with the football into the end zone, and he just like lost control of it. Do I like it? No. It's a little more understanding to me, that one, than the one where they just run and leave it at like the 2-yard line. You're like, bro, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You can't wait one more step. One more step you can't wait. So from that standpoint, I feel bad for him. Was it dumb? Yes. Give him a little bit of a pass. It wasn't as bad as the other one. But you're right, bro. Like Daniel Jones, I think he played well. Tyler Warren is a baller.
Now, the bet that I love, Tyler Warren, 10-1 to win Offensive Rookie of the Year right now. They use him in so many different ways and facets. He plays such an integral part of a prolific offense.
Yeah.
That number is going to continue to move.
I mean, bro, he took direct snaps out of the backfield and scored a touchdown on that too. Yeah. No, he's good, man. Look, the Colts are good. I like the Colts. Like, it doesn't, sometimes you lose and you feel good about the team too. Like, they went toe to toe. They honestly should have won.
Mm-hmm.
And they should have at least covered. It's just that broken play there at the end. But I like Pittman. I like Alec Pierce. I like Jonathan Taylor. Their offensive line is good. Daniel Jones is balling out. He's playing well. You know, he started the game with a turnover. He was going to have a turnover, but he just plays really, really well. And then obviously Tyler Warren also. But, yo, the Rams are just a son of a bitch to fucking have to match up. They got Higbee, too, that could do some stuff, too. Kieran Williams in the backfield. They bring in a Blake Corum, not much of a drop-off. So it's just, they're a team. I like them a lot, man. I really, really like the Rams. So I've been feeling good about some of the future calls.
Right.
Like, yo, bro, listen, even the Bears plus 600, they're one game back at a division. And they're going to have that game with Detroit in Chicago. And look, there's a ways to go. But I kind of feel good about a bunch of things.
Yeah, I mean, going into the year, I did not think that the NFC would be so much more talented. And obviously health plays a big factor into it. But I think all the true talent currently in teams that are hot in the NFL are coming from the NFC.
Yeah, I felt like the NFC was going to be better this year than the AFC. And then, of course, when Burrow goes down, you're like, all right, that eliminates that one team that, sure, you didn't have them in the top 3. It would be like
the split between the two of them.
Yeah, yeah. And then also just having conviction on, you know, I'm still not buying Denver. I didn't buy New England. And I know those teams are going to be 2-2. You know who's impressed me a lot, bro? And we'll do this last game before we talk about the Eagles and Bucks and then bring on our guest. I like the Jaguars.
Wow.
Yo, the Jaguars should be 4-0. Should be. You want to talk about a weird fucking game? They play the Chiefs this week, and they're 3-point favorites. Sorry, they're 3-point underdogs at home. Kansas City was just a 3-point underdog at home against Baltimore. I think the Jaguars right now are better than Baltimore. So you're telling me if Kansas City and the Jaguars played this week and it was in Kansas City, they'd be 9-point dogs? Jacksonville? Bro, we're clearing the Patreon if that's the case.
For sure.
9-point dogs there. I early Monday winner. We'll get to that at the end of the show. But, dude, their defense leads the league in turnovers. Trevor Lawrence does 1 to 2 things a game where I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Like yesterday, he ran out of bounds when he was going to kill the clock. Didn't like it. I don't like that Brian Thomas Jr. hasn't scored a receiving touchdown yet this year. And I think he's a hell of a wide receiver. His only touchdown this year came on like an end around. I don't like that they traded all that shit to get Travis Hunter, and they still don't know what to do with him. But man, I think their defense is really, really balling. They had 4 takeaways against the Niners, and they kind of got a bunch of like no names on the defense. Hines Allen, of course, we know about him, and Arik Armstead had a strip sack, but bro, they made it really uncomfortable in San Francisco. Remember, this is where they played a couple years ago, and we made them the thumbnail. Why is no one respecting the Jaguars at 8-3? And then they were like 4-18 since then. Bro, they're a problem, man. I think they're a problem. Punt return touchdown they had also. Their special teams are playing well. I think the Jaguars are going to be a serious contender. They were my division winner coming into the year.
Yeah. I mean, if I could say anything, I feel like you're doing it again. You're setting them up right now, Nick. Please, for the love of Christ, put them on the thumbnail. Just for old time's sake, put them on the thumbnail and watch them get just waxed this upcoming week. And I mean, it's just a coming back to reality. I mean, the wins versus the Panthers, the Texans, and this 49ers team that I feel so slighted by the way that team performed this week. And me considering them a true contender, I was wrong. And this 49ers team has got some serious issues, because I really don't think that this Jacksonville team is all that it's cracked up to be. And I think once they figure out how to use Travis Hunter effectively, which is unfortunately going to mean he's got to play one side of the ball, because I think he's better than Brian Thomas Jr. I think he's their best offensive option next to Travis Etienne, and the offense just isn't catered to fit his specific skill set. And that's a real issue. When you get somebody in the draft that high that's supposed to be your franchise game-changing player, it's unfortunate, but like, people don't like pass deflections. People want to see Travis Hunter score in the end zone, have a Jaxson Dart moment where he hits a little white boy celly. Travis Hunter's version of that, and get the fucking butts in seats. That's my issue with the Jaguars. And I do think it is a fraud check week. After this week, I can make my true, prediction on the way that the rest of this Jaguars season is going to go.
Hey, it's hard to argue against it, bro. It's hard to argue. I feel like wait and see is definitely apropos, because we've been duped before, right? We've had teams come out of the gates like that, but Jake Browning has that one miracle play, and that so far right now through 4 weeks, there's 2. How the fuck did they lose that game? The Falcons getting their shit punched in by the Panthers. We might look at that and be like, how the fuck did that happen in division? It makes sense a little bit. And then the Jaguars losing to the Bengals when they lose Burrow also. We'll see. Let us know what you guys think about the AFC South, because the team that we thought was going to win it is like really struggling in Houston. And I know they beat up on the Titans. Don't really want to say too much about that, except that I still think that the offensive line for the Texans is very, very bad. Yeah. And if there's one thing you got to remember about Derrick Henry, they play the Texans this week. He owns the Texans, like some of his biggest games with the Titans. So anytime touchdown, Derrick Henry, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. We're going crazy with Derrick Henry this week. All right, last game, Bucks and the Eagles. We talked about that $1 million parlay that we made, and we have a lot of parlays tied to Jalen Hurts to win MVP. Right now, if you were to look at the yards leaders on NFL.com, you would have to hit next page to find his name. Damn. He has 600 yards, 609 yards passing this year, no interceptions. Has 5 touchdowns throwing. He has a bunch on the ground too. For Jalen Hurts to win MVP this year, they got to go 16-1.
That is correct.
And I'm going to be on the show being like, it's all about wins.
Yeah. We will push that narrative.
And listen, I hope
for sure.
I've been talking about this shit for fucking 6 years now, but more so in the last 2. Like, you got to pick a side. Is it team wins and team success for MVP, or is it stats? Because it can't be both. And I think the Eagles, you look at their schedule, like, bro, the first 4 weeks, they have some banger games. Cowboys in division, on the road against the Chiefs, right? They played at Tampa Bay, a team that every Eagle fan will be like, yo, for some reason, they're the team that gives us nightmares in the NFC. Everyone else they beat up on, but the Bucs just have their number. And then I forgot who they beat in week 3.
The Rams.
Oh, they came back against the Rams. Yeah, a really good team, right? So, listen, man, I just think that Barkley's not having the kind of year that he had last year, which you expected. Like, this dude could run for 1,400 yards this year, and they're going to be like, yo, he had a bad year because last year he ran for 2,500 yards, a whole season's worth with the playoffs. I just think Jalen Hurts, he can't win MVP unless they go like 15-2, best record in the league, or 16-1. Now his odds have dropped, from 25-1. He's now 15-1, 14-1 in some places. But this is going to be one where it's like, hey, look at all the teams he beat. Look at how he protected the football, and look at the team's record.
Right.
That's the only way he can win MVP.
So you're telling me there's a path, Nick?
Listen, there is a path.
There is such a path. I mean, this is the best roster in the league, and we say it every single week. Now, the only thing is AJ Brown. Not now. Let's please, with this the subtweeting culture, the outfits that say check on your teammate. I just think it's too early for this, given the fact that you guys are 4-0, and I mean 9 targets isn't nothing. Were they shit plays that he got drawn up to for him yesterday? Of course. I mean, you were making those plays the week before. So let's not act like you're not capable of competing for some of these balls and winning some of the one-on-ones. But I don't think it's the greatest thing to help our case in them winning a lot of games. That being said, with all the controversy, AJ Brown will be on my anytime touchdown parlay this upcoming week, because it's going to be like here you go, shut up. It'll be like a simple rollout, out route, AJ Brown. Now be quiet.
Yeah, they played Denver this week. So, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it. All right, last thing I want to say, and I'm not into pandering. I don't believe in that. I'm not saying this for clicks. I'm not saying this for any other reason, even though he's a very polarizing player. Bro, if you're the Cleveland Browns, how do you not start Shador? Or fuck it, throwing Gabriel, bro. Stop rolling out Joe Flacco, man.
Yeah.
That guy looks like a fucking statue back there. Even the game that they beat the Packers, like, had nothing to do with him. The defense, and that was something we talked about on the picks last week. And fuck, we should have took. I gave out the Lions -10 on the Patreon, 5-3 on Patreon, but we didn't make it one of our official picks on the show. And again, it was just a shit team playing a really good team, and the Lions run the score up on people. I think Cleveland at home, be careful.
Right.
Don't bet against them. Different team at home. But when they go on the road, indoors, shit like that, like Flacco just looks really old and bad. And he's 39. Why not do like what the Giants did, bro? You know Russ isn't a part of your future. You know that Joe Flacco's not a part of your future. Let's see. You spent 2 draft picks on Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders. Fuck it. Just run them out there. Your season's toast anyway.
It would be pretty cool if they just got into the fuck it mindset of just alternating them every drives. And the only way that you can remain the starter is if you score points. So if you don't score points, then it's Gabriel. Gabriel scores points, then he stays in another drive.
I don't even think that, because like there's rhythm and timing.
I'm joking about it, but like it's so fucked up. And like, I mean, how else are you going to get an accurate depiction of what both of these guys can do for you if you don't play both for a significant period of time this season?
They're 1-3. I'd be down to be able to. Yeah, I'd be down to say, hey man, look, we're 1-3. Dylan Gabriel, you're the starter now. We'll give you until when's their bye week? Browns schedule. We'll give you until the bye week. So they play in Dublin this weekend. Then they got 3 more games. So I'll give you till the bye week, until week 9 when they play the Jets. So I'll give you 4 games. I'll give you Vikings overseas. I'll give you Pittsburgh, Miami, and the Patriots. And if it looks like this. Yo, Shador, you're coming in for Jets, Ravens, Raiders, and Niners. And if you stink it up, let's go back to Gabriel. Maybe benching him sparks him. That's what I would do. You're going to create some excitement if you're Cleveland. Maybe the team plays better, like how the Giants did.
Yeah.
I would do. I think it's time. Like you're only doing a disservice to your organization if you keep rolling out Joe Flacco, and to your fans and to the future of it, because he's clearly a stopgap, like literally stopping the gap right now.
Yeah.
Let's see, bro. You invested draft capital in these two players. That's what I would do. And I'm not into the pandering and shit that you be seeing on social media. I really believe that's what you should do, because what else? You just got your shit punched in. Again, 2 of the 4 games that you've played, you got rocked. So create a spark, create some buzz, get some jersey sales. You know how many people would be at that first home game with a Dylan Gabriel or a Shador Sanders? Shador Sanders, you get way more attention for obvious reasons. But like, yo, listen, Dylan, you're ahead of him on the depth chart. Let's throw you in there. Let's see. You got 4 games until the bye week. Go out there, throw 5 picks that first game, all good. You're playing these next 4 games until the bye week, the team is yours. Let's see. Sink or swim, like what you were saying about drive to drive. Nah, you get 4 games. That's your leash.
Yeah.
Then we go to Shador. Shador, you get 4 games. If you kill it, bet. Now you get 5 games. You get the rest of the year. That's what I would do.
Do you think it doesn't happen this week, and like we have officially seen the turning of the page for the Cleveland fan base just not giving a fuck?
I think they already don't.
Because with you and the Giants, like you guys are excited.
Yeah.
You guys were like, no, this needs to happen. We want Dart. There was a chance.
Yeah.
You felt it.
And bro, let me tell you this.
Browns fans don't have the energy to give a fuck anymore because they gave the money to Deshaun Watson, and the entire organization sucks.
And let me tell you this. I'm going to be excited for every single Giant game the rest of the year, even if they lose every game. Let me see. Is Jaxson Dart going to be the future after 1 game? Yeah. But let me tell you this. Daniel Jones accounted for 4 touchdowns his first game on the road against Tampa. So we've seen this before.
Right.
I think the aura is different. I think the way he carries himself. I think the way the team talks about him. Remember, they had Eli Manning. They benched him for Daniel Jones. Way different. You don't have an Eli. You've been looking for an Eli. So it's a completely different conversation.
True.
But for the Browns and teams like the Browns, like, yeah, bro, let's just see. What the fuck? Saints, same thing. Even though I think Rattler's playing a lot better, let's see Tyler Shuck out there. Why not? What's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah.
You rather do what the Raiders are doing? Geno Smith... I know we live in Vegas, but like...
Hey, are we going to have to start investigating, brother? Brother.
It looks bad. He duped everyone after that week 1 performance where they threw like 380 yards and they won on the road against New England. And he's just been a walking turnover ever since. He got 7 interceptions this year.
Geno, wait. Oh, is that Geno Smith outside? What are you doing in the wind, bro? Start fucking getting ready for this week, dude. Stay out of the wind.
Hey, let's do a Patreon read before we bring in our guy Jason to talk about some Vegas shit. George, Patreon. We are at 487 members. $1 a month. That's all we're asking for.
Squad's rolling deep these days, Nick.
Listen, 1 less flick of the wrist at Sapphire and Crazy Horse. All those fun establishments that I know way too much of. But
for sure.
Whatever. Young, handsome, and single. We get it in. You know what I'm saying? Patreon.com/Veterans Minimum. $1 a month. 5-3 against the spread last week. 6-8 on anytime touchdowns. 4 straight weeks. 1 fucking guy doesn't score a touchdown. And he fucks the parlay up. But we are almost there. Patreon.com/Veterans Minimum. All right, George. It's been a big conversation in podcasts. Some big podcasts, too. Shane Gillis, Bill Simmons, Joe Rogan, been talking about Vegas dying. Vegas is dead. Tourism is down. Just last week, almost every casino on the Strip was giving out promotions and like free rooms and shit to bring people into the city. So I figured a very reliable source, a big bro to say the least, and I hate using that term, but just to add context and to understand. We reached out to a real estate guy, and one of our real estate guys.
Yes.
Jason Griggs in the building. What's
Best in the business.
Round 3.
Round
Best
3,
in the
baby.
biz.
This is amazing.
Round 3. Jay,
You guys are killing it. Good to see you guys again.
always good to have you come on by. I know you're feeling a little upset today. Circa got knocked out with the tie.
Yeah, the ties.
How do you feel about ties though? Because I was ranting about that shit before. Like, I feel like ties.
It just like defeats the purpose of sports.
Yeah.
Like you're playing something to see a winner crowned, right?
Yeah.
I did 2 Circus Survivor. I took the Bills and the Packers. I'm a Cowboys fan. And yeah, it was brutal. It's like I feel like I didn't lose, but you lost because the ties lose.
Yeah.
So
Is that block field goal just like replaying in your head? Because
I'll go into the block field goals later, but yeah, I don't know. The Cowboys are tricky this year. Like I didn't think that they had any chance of like having any oomph anywhere. Their defense is so bad, but Dak is playing great. He's really playing good. Obviously the coach was like a toss of like, what is he gonna be? And like I just didn't think any of the guys were gonna be motivated this week with CD out. And good for them. They played well.
No, for sure, man. And I felt like CD Lamb is one of the few wide receivers that actually matters, like from a point spread also. And then George Pickens went fucking nuclear. That's the best game I think he's ever played.
He's great.
And he really balled out. You just got to worry about him like having those antics and just bugging out.
He reminds me of Plaxico Burress, like to a T.
Oh, he just reminds me of, I would say more so Antonio Brown.
The way he plays like that big, tall, long
Yeah.
wide receiver. He's great. Great player.
So what would you say? So like we did with the intro with you, right? It's always cool to have you on when it comes to this Vegas stuff because you moved out here. How long now?
Wow, it's been almost like 14 years, 15 years.
14 years for you. He's born and raised in Vegas, so sometimes he hears these conversations and he's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about, right? Or like even me moving from New York, I always tell George, I'm like, man, it's really cheap out here, bro, still. But then I hear everyone like George or people like George who grew up in Vegas are like, man, it's getting expensive. But I'm like, dude, I lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. I was paying $2,400. I had no window. I had a fire escape window that was like rules and regulations. You just had to have one, but it was like illegal to rent out the apartment I lived in. And I come out here and I'm like, I pay fucking $1,800. I got 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, gated community. I'm being super bougie with my little ass puppy walking around and shit. So it's cool to get all these different perspectives. And have you heard about this conversation with Vegas dying? Where do you want to start with this? Because you're in the real estate space. You're the king of the Airbnbs. You've given me a lot of opportunities to like network. He's the one that introduced us to Shasta Matty Betts. I know you're going through it, bro, right now.
Oh, Matty Betts is the best, dude.
Yeah.
I root for that guy so hard.
Yeah, bro. But dude, the one thing about you on a serious note is everyone you've introduced me to, like they've been top of the food chain. And I think it's like a New York thing where like we could sniff out the BS. So do you sniff out the BS when it comes to Vegas dying? Do you agree to what's your sentiment?
No, I don't. It's kind of like a double-edged sword question. So when I moved here, the attraction to moving here for me, I was young, I graduated college, was cheap. We're from New York, so it was like a quarter of the price to live here, and the weather. So we still got the great weather, obviously, but Vegas has now transitioned into something different. I like it. I think it's like a mini sports town. And being from New York, we'll get into it, Nick, of what it's like going to a Jet and Giant game versus what it's like going to a Raider game now. But it's definitely changed. And it's a lot harder to do things here now. When you come here to visit, it's a lot more expensive. It's a lot more expensive. These hotels are like really nickel and diming their customers. And the thing that I don't like is this city was, and George, you grew up here, but like you got to take care of the locals. And like they haven't been doing a great job of that.
Yeah.
And I think they've realized like, hey, we really screwed up and we need to get the locals back. Because I'm a local and I would go to the Strip all the time. And I don't anymore because it's so expensive. I make great money, but it's getting insane with the parking and the valet and the all these extra fees. So what I'm seeing is these hotels, I think they've realized that they've made a mistake and they're like, we better go back to the locals and kind of reel them back in quickly, or else some stuff's gonna be in shambles. But you're seeing a lot of these casinos that they've gotten into some really big corporate mega deals with Wall Street. And from what Vegas Policy, he puts out a lot of content on this. Really good. It's really cool to understand the back end of hotels and the gambling industry, but their overhead is just like absurd. So they have to charge for $35 for parking and do all these extra things just to stay afloat. So now we'll see, is that working, or are these hotels going to go belly up and go under?
Yeah, I mean, I walk through the casinos and I still see enough people to make me think this place is still doing fine, you know? And regardless if the locals are there or not, the locals hit their own little spots. You know, downtown has grown tremendously for the locals. So I think a lot of the casinos around there do better in that population and demographic. But the thing that I know Vegas is backed on is those whale type players that you really are just trying to roll out the red carpet for. That's why you make the Wynn look the way the Wynn looks. It looks like we're walking into a palace every single day that we get to record here. And it's for those individuals that are going to drop $10-50 million on a crazy weekend here. And so that's why they can't give a fuck about the locals. And we kind of understand it, but people saying Vegas is dead because of it is absurd to me. I mean, do you feel that way?
Listen, I'm on the strip 5 nights a week. I haven't realized nothing. I know I'm in the Wynn, so it's, you know, best casino on the strip. Table minimums are $50 on a Thursday morning. So what other place fucking offers that? I think to your point, bro, my biggest issue in my life, I hate being hustled.
It's the worst.
I hate being hustled. Don't charge me fucking $12 for a 16-ounce cold brew. I feel like you're insulting my intelligence. That is what bothers me. There's a casino in town that even if you're in there for 4 minutes, you're paying a minimum for the parking. And it's one of my favorite casinos in town. My favorite restaurant is over there. You guys can connect the dots. Might do business with them one day. So,
Yeah, to keep the record clean a little bit.
Go back in the archives and check it out. But like, bro, I'm in there for 4 minutes. I gotta pay $25 parking. I like that some places, like, you know, if you have a player's card, I get it. You're a local Nevada ID, I get it. But in some, it's Saturday night, it's like, then don't complain that the locals aren't going out.
Right. I just moved near the South Point. And if you want to see like an old school real casino, so if you're coming to Vegas, I would recommend you go in there. It's all relationship based.
So here's the thing. I got to push back because I agree with you. But when I have friends come visit, they don't want to go to Durango where we go to all the time.
Right.
Durango is sick. Local Durango, number one. Am I biased because it's 4 minutes from the crib? For sure. But like, it's a beautiful casino. I like the odds. I like the sports book. The food is great. It doesn't, break your wallet. You're chilling. But like, when I have friends come visit, they don't want to do that.
So
they want the real shit, which is like the strip.
Yeah. So I'm going to keep going. So the South Point, like these other casinos were ran like how they run theirs, where it was like all relationship based. You would come in, you would talk to somebody, you would get dinner, you would get the breakfast, you would get the room, you would get in for free, you would get all these things comped. And that was like the real attraction to Vegas of like, when I moved here, I didn't have any money and I would just go to the number one nightclub in the world just because you had a relationship. That changed big time. So now all these big hotels, they do nickel and dime you. They do have to make money. Those, like when I first moved here, the big thing was during the week, they would just comp bottles of vodka at every nightclub. They would just give it away, like to the locals, to influencers, whatever. And then that went totally away. Then like the DJ era happened, and then they started charging the $5,000 just to walk in, that kind of thing. And then that like they milked everybody. They really did. So people don't want to come back because they have this like negative vibe. Like 14, 15 years ago, you could go and have a great time for $1,000. That went out the window very quickly. So I, Nick, to your point, I understand, but like those casinos, the Durangos and the privately owned casinos, they're doing really well.
Yeah.
Because they have that old school mentality of
For
the
sure.
business. And people like us like that. So I think you're going to see some changes a lot in the casino business. But for like my Airbnbs, I have 8 of them here. Did we see like a drastic 50% drop in revenue? No. Did we see a drop? Yes. It's not like, oh my God, like nobody's coming here. But like, I think some of the bigger events did fizzle out. Like I was renting my houses for crazy numbers for the first F1. Last year, F1, the second one, it did like a quarter, maybe even 15% of what.
Yeah, that's when we last had you on. We talked about that.
So I do think that people are coming and doing the cool events like once, and then it kind of like loses its fizzle a little bit. But we'll see. I think Vegas does need to continue getting creative and do things outside the box. That's what makes Vegas Vegas. And here's a really good example, like the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere. Like we had, like, if you looked at my Airbnb stuff, hundreds of people. Hey, we're coming out for the Backstreet Boys. Like that's a really good example of they thought outside the box, bringing back something that was really popular for people our age, 40 years old.
Yeah.
Right. That got people back to Vegas. So they need to do things like that.
Yeah, I know in December they had 50 Cent did 6 shows. I remember he was on Talk with Flea promoting that. You're right, having these events that are an attraction, you know, like for me, the one thing I'm so jaded by it, bro, just because I don't see no change or drop off at all. To me, I think it's still like it's becoming more popular. My question to you guys would be, do you think sports betting being so accessible all over the country has hurt it?
Without question. Because when I moved here, Vegas was the only place you could gamble.
Yeah.
Like people were calling me like every day, Griggs, can you go put this future in? Can you, because they couldn't bet in New York because they had no other option. So I was running back and forth to the Silver Sevens on East Flamingo.
Jesus.
And they would, I swear, they would pay me just $100 just to go put bets in for them. Obviously now things are different. And with the streaming and gambling now is huge too. So you don't even need to go play blackjack at a casino. You could do it on your phone.
Right.
Which the streaming, the gambling streaming, I think is the number one business right now. Like if I had $1 billion to invest into, I would invest in that. What's going on in that space is mega.
Yeah. I mean, you're literally betting on an addiction. Like I would heavily invest on any addictions. Like buying a sugar mill would be like an ultimate dream of mine, just because I know what it does to people, and I would be the coolest motherfucker around. You could sell it for whatever. The thing that I find super weird is when they have the windows and you can see the dealers. I forgot what casino it was, and I believe it was the Venetian has it set up so that behind a glass wall, the dealer has a table with nobody in front of it, just a camera, and
it's being streamed somewhere.
It's being streamed.
MGM has it
it's
now.
just it's awkward to see in the middle of a casino.
Right. And that's the future of where this is going, because people, I think Gary Vee said it, and it stuck with me. Like, and this is the example he used. He said streaming is going to get so big and popular. Like you like going to get a haircut because you like talking to your barber, but people aren't going to go get the haircut. They're just going to watch a stream of somebody cutting hair all day and the gossip. And I was like, wow, he's right. Like that's what people are going to get into.
Right.
So I think casinos are getting hurt, and the hotel industry are getting hurt by things like that. But I'm all in on Vegas, and I really feel like some of the smartest people in the world are here, and they're going to just come up with stuff like the Backstreet Boys thing and the Sphere and the Oakland A's that are coming. They're going to figure it out, because there's still nothing like this town. There's nothing even remotely close to how great this town is. And so if you like action and you want to meet people, and I mean, Nick, you know, how many people have we met here? Like
Oh,
from
bro,
where we're from, it wouldn't even
unbelievable,
be
yeah.
close. You
Yeah,
could
and-
just walk around this hotel
Yeah.
and meet NBA players, billionaires, actors, actresses. Like that's the best part about living in Vegas.
Yeah, and the coolest thing is that it's such an attraction city that is, I always tell people, I'm like, yo, no one ever books Vegas and is miserable. No one
Best
ever is
line
like,
ever. Yeah.
no one's ever like, oh, I'm going to Vegas for 4 days. No one has ever said that. Now, on Sunday when their flight is at 8 p.m., yeah, they might be miserable. Tables got them, champagne room got them,
Yeah.
the hook got them, right? That's different. But upon arrival, there's no city like it
No.
every single time.
I love the sports vibe here. Like I love going to the Golden Knights games. I think their organization is like just pure class.
Mhm.
They just do a great job. And it's fun going to those games. And if you want to go and party up at Hyde, you can. They're just so involved in the community, which I love. And they're fun to root for. They're always competitive now, and I'm a big fan of what they do.
They're the true example of like what locals do to a team when you build the team.
Yes.
And so when we get a basketball team, do not give us any fucking transplant transfers, because I don't think the A's are going to work out the way that they're hoping and that they've seen from the Knights. And I mean, it even started with the Aces before all this shit. And the Aces fan base has grown tremendously.
Mhm.
But I don't think people have fully bought into the Raiders. I know people fully haven't bought into the Raiders. You don't see it plastered everywhere around Las Vegas. I think that's the one thing that the Knights do a way better job at is their billboards and their promotion for their team compared to what the Raiders do. I think it's like a night and day difference.
Yeah, and also the Raider games, they're feisty, dude. Like me and my wife went to week 1 or the first home game, and it was like I was like, are we gonna get stabbed? Like sitting here, like it was like rough. I think they could do a better job of like handling that, because I think that does turn some people off.
Mhm.
But the Golden Knights, like it's very family oriented. That's what you want. And
Agreed.
that's why they're doing so well and so popular. But I just love, because I lived here without any sports, and you did too.
Yeah.
But it's so much better when on a Wednesday you could call your buddy and be like, hey, let's go hit Beer House for a few, go to the game, hit Hyde, get a great dinner at Park MGM, and head home. Like in New York, you can't do that. You have to take the train.
Oh, it's you're talking about a 3 to 4 hour commute round trip, bro. It's bad. It's bad. And then
It's hard. The traffic and the parking and all that. It's just
Yeah.
a way, like I could get to the stadium in 8 minutes compared to a 3.5 hour ordeal. And so for me, that's amazing. Like it's just so cool living here and getting to do that.
The studios that are reported to being built somewhere in like the southwestern part of Vegas, and they, I think, are the reason why the whole Vegas is dead movement started, because they recently just got denied from a huge bill. It was like a $95 million bill that was going to help build out all these different studios out in that location. And I think since they being the media, kind of pushed this narrative to go, hey, Vegas is dying and you guys should give us money so that way we can come in here on a cheaper dime, you know, and not have to deal with a whole bunch of the real estate tax shit that I have no questions about or no understanding of. Have you seen that impacting the market in like where specific areas are?
Yeah, I mean, I was saying like follow rich people. So like where rich people go, you should follow suit of what they're doing. So if like the mini Hollywood came to Vegas, that would be a tremendous thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be huge. Like all these actors and actresses coming here, all these producers. I mean, Wahlberg's here. He's so involved like in this community already. So to answer your question, the media, like it's tough. Like our real estate market here in Vegas is getting affected by the expense of everything. The interest rates are sky high right now. So a lot of people aren't buying homes, and a lot of people aren't able to sell their homes right now because people can't afford them. So once those come down, those interest rates come down, and like Vegas was, when I moved here, it was so affordable. And the best part about living in Vegas is low property taxes. But that's changed. And so you need to make a lot of money to live in Summerlin and like the nicer parts of Henderson and Southern Highlands, and like where the bigger, nicer A+ areas are.
Right.
You have to make bigger money. So I bought a lot of real estate when I first moved here, and it was dirt cheap. The houses were $200,000. Now those houses are $800,000, and that mortgage payment is like significant. It's inflated.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have to really think about like, hey, can I afford this? And that's what I'm seeing now is a lot of people that are hesitant. They're like, this is like really expensive to buy this house. And so they don't end up doing it.
You know what else is really dope about Vegas, bro? It's really a who you know town also.
Oh, yeah.
Like, bro, I'll never forget the month before I moved to Vegas, we did a bachelor party in Scottsdale for my buddy Josh. There was like 20 of us. So we rented out this huge Airbnb in Scottsdale. And the whole time, maybe around March, we went in July. Around March, I'm like, yo, we should go to Vegas. And everyone's like, dude, the gambling, it's going to be way too much money for us. Bro, I think I spent more money over there than I would have here because I know a Jason. I know a Chris. I know a Mike who knows the owner of this restaurant. Like, yo, he'll take care of you guys. He'll comp you champagne and desserts and all that shit. And it's like if you could build relationships with people, you get a lot of hookups. But then, they also expect things from you too, which I think it's a fair, transaction. Yeah. But I remember going to like Miami and Scottsdale for bachelor parties. And the threat of no gambling was like, oh, it'd be cheaper. And then you're wasting even more money there.
Right.
And I think there's that stigma too about Vegas where it's like, yo, bro, I've come to Vegas legit where like I didn't gamble in a night. And I just went out. I went to a pool party all day, came back, took a nap, then went out to a nice dinner. Then I gambled that night. I might have played poker for like $200.
For me, like I love hosting people from home. Because like all my friends are cops and firemen and blue collar, and they don't get to go to XS and go meet Nick Diaz and like all these like mega superstars just randomly. So you're right. But like that's the fun of it for me is like bringing my friends and family here and showing them like, yeah, you're going to party like a rock star this weekend. And so I built a really cool business of doing that with real estate. Like, hey, fly out. We're going to do the real estate stuff first. I'm going to show you houses. I'm going to show you the different cool places to live. But then we're going to go to dinner and I'm going to take you to the nightclub. I'm going to show you like the real experience of what Las Vegas is. And people really enjoy that. So it's cool because, yeah, I have a lot of connections now and it's awesome. Like Vegas is all about who you know. And if you don't have that, then you're not going to have as good of a time. So people call me because they're like, Jason, I want to go here. Can you help me out here? And so like Saturday, like Marab's fighting and like all the New Yorkers are coming out. I have a wedding and Aljo's wedding. I have 2 weddings this weekend plus the fight. It's going to be nuts. And like they all want to meet Marab. They all want to go and he's doing his thing here at XS. So it's going to be cool. But yeah, that's what this town's about.
Yeah, and they get these experiences that they wouldn't think of ever having.
Bro, no.
Yeah.
Like you can't go do that. Like you just can't. Like where I'm from, I was a small town in Long Island. Like you can't go meet a billionaire. You can't go. You're not running into Nick Diaz. Like I ran it. We were talking for 20 minutes just about fighting on Saturday. Like it just doesn't happen. So that's the best part. I'm sure you guys see. Just through the studio, right?
Oh, bro, it's
the networking is that's what people don't understand about business. I am not the smartest guy. I'm not. Like you look at my test scores growing up, I have friends 10 times smarter than me. But what I'm great at is networking, and I'm great at putting the dots together. For example, in Matty Betts. When I first met Matty Betts, I was like, this kid's awesome. And he wasn't even big, like that big yet. But I knew I had to introduce him to you because you are in the space. Like it would be a disservice to both of you guys.
Yeah.
Not putting you two together. And now look, you guys do stuff, and I think that's awesome. So I do that a lot, not just in the business space, but I try to do it as much as possible. It's a win-win for everybody. And it doesn't cost me anything. It's just I'm being a genuine person of like, I want to help you out. I want to help him out. And I knew you had this platform and it would help his platform. And look what happened to it.
Nah, man, he's become one of, and I feel like that space is so toxic, and I hate using that word too. I feel like it's gotten so watered down, but we talk about it all the time. I disagree with a lot of people in the sports betting space, but I fucking love that dude. He's looked out for us on many different occasions. Even with the Saquon bet last year, you know how many people, bro, went on like network television hyping up Saquon Barkley, and they heard it from the show, or they were guests on the show. Not one tag, not one mention at all. And like, I've told him, you know me well, I'm very petty. It's like, I won't tell you nothing, but you could just tell if like, hey man, when am I coming on your show? Nah, we're booked. We're not booked. We prefer having conversations like this because I've always prided myself on like, people listen to the show for me and him. Like the guest is cool when we random Maurice Claret, a Matty Betts coming in. Michael Irvin's gonna come on the show in a couple weeks, right? Like that's cool, but like people come and they stay for this, right? So anything else is additional.
You know why?
And to me with Matty though, just to put a bow on this conversation, because we've shown him a bunch of love, because anytime he would post his ticket, he always tagged the show. I was like, don't even tag me. Fuck that. But tag, and every time he would do it on his own. Well, and he threw me money with his bet, and he vlogged it. Because when we were supposed to go bet it on the same day. He bet it before me and he moved the line. So he cost me like $1,800. So as a joke all the time, every time I'd be like, yo, 30 to 1, but I got it 22 to 1 because of this fuck. And then he shot a vlog and he was like, yo, bro, how much did I cost you? I was like, I think about like 1,500. He's like, yo, is 2K good and you can shut your ass up now? I was like, yeah. I'm good now. Now I'm not yapping no more.
He's, and you guys too, you're just authentic and realistic. That's why your show does well. That's why, because like there's some influencers that are lying and they make these fake slips and they put out these crazy things. Like Nick, you put out your futures and you stick to it. Right? Yeah. You don't veer off like, this and there's an excuse here or I hedged it or whatever. Like you took the bet, you bet it yourself, which I think is amazing in its own right. And then that's it. And it's awesome. But for like Matty Betts, like he puts out all those things for free. So like I went to the fight with him last time. I forgot which fight it was. But like people were coming up to him, like talking crap to him. And in my mind, I'm like, this guy just puts out his, like, you don't have to do this.
Right.
Like you don't have to.
Do you see how many times he posts and loses?
You don't have to bet what he's betting, but you're gonna give somebody crap because he's got some balls, that kid. Big ones.
Yeah.
And now he's like, I'm so happy for him because I love his content and I love your content. I think it goes so well together, but it's like, just put your money where your mouth is. Facts. That old saying, right? Mm-hmm. That's what you two do. And I love it. And that's what I do in the real estate space. When people are like, oh, how do you know this is the best area in town? Well, I own 5 houses in this area. Like, tell me another real estate agent that you're working with that knows like this inside information on it. And that's why clients work with me.
Well, listen, bro, you always show love. Again, the networking is amazing, to your point where you were saying. Jason's one of the few people that actually get the picks. He's like, yo, what do we like this week? Not many people do. And in the event someone wants to come out to Vegas, someone wants to move to Vegas, how can they get in contact with you? Because I'm going to send them to you. 1, because you're my friend, and 2, more than number 1 is because you're really not only passionate, but like you don't fuck around, bro. Like you're not trying to cut corners on people. Like you're really genuine with shit. So I would rather, and word is bond. And I always feel like, especially the people that George and I connect with in this space and like who we work with or who we're associated with, like I don't give a cosign to just anyone, because I don't want that to come back to me and be like, yo, Nick, you vouch for this dude? What the fuck's wrong with you? But I vouch for you. So like, what would you say, how can people get in contact with you if they're thinking about coming out to Vegas?
Yeah, so I just built out a whole new website, jasongrigsrealestate.com. And a prompt is going to come up where gains your information. And I need that so I could reach out to you. But let's just have your listeners just mention Veterans Minimum client, would you say, or listener? And then this way I know it came from you, and it doesn't cost anything. But yeah, the more people I connect with, I love moving New Yorkers out here. I'm sure your fan base is a lot from New York. So that's like my specialty, moving New Yorkers out to Vegas. That's like my forte.
Fuck yeah, man. We're going to have everything in the link of the bio. Real quick before we go, you have a Monday winner?
I knew you were about to ask me that, and I was like, you know what? I think Nick might just skip over
on,
it
bro.
today.
I'm not going to skip over it. We got to.
I'm like the kid. I'm the kid who didn't do homework, and the teacher just at the very end said, "Hey, and by the way, you can leave the homework in the basket by the door."
Bro, when Jason was
I gotta-
talking about tests and like grades growing up and shit, bro, I was so bad, dude, in school. Like, not bad because like I was a bad kid. I was a good kid, but like I just didn't care. Like the amount of times that I'd go into class early beforehand and I'd ask the girls next to me, be like, "Yo,
Yep.
let me get the questions and just circle in."
Smarter,
and all
not
that.
harder.
Yeah, you remember in New York, Math B, which was like the
Oh, yeah.
Regents and shit.
Oh, yeah.
So like, yo, in New York, you had to take these Regents exams, and it was like to determine if you passed in the next grade. So, bro, my senior year, I had a Greek teacher, Mr. Sedaris. I'll never forget this, and you'll understand why, because I'm super petty. You needed a 65
Yep.
to pass.
Move on to the next level.
So I needed to pass Math B, which was like sine, cosine, tangent, and all that shit, like
that don't
algebra
matter.
and
Yeah.
shit. You know, once they introduced letters, I was like, I'm good, bro. I was a wizard in math until that came about. And bro, I remember they would grade your tests right there when you were a senior, because you would, they'd be like pass or fail, and then you move on to college and shit. I got a 66. You would have thought the Giants won the Super Bowl. I was like, woo! And he like grabs me and he goes, "Hey man, you see that kid over there? My buddy Ali. He's one of the few kids from my high school that went to like Ivy League school. He got a 99 and he was devastated. And he goes to me, he goes, one day you're gonna work for him." And bro, snap answer. I just go, "I hope he pays well." Tapped him on his shoulder, walked out the door. I was like, "Fuck that! You ain't gonna shit on my parade, bro.
That's
Fuck out of here. I
funny.
know I'm not gonna need this shit, and I haven't used sine, tangent, or cosine fucking since." So my Monday winner, to put a bow on this conversation, Jaguars +3. Monday Night Football.
I got one for you, and George.
Hit it.
I'm not a big player, touchdown prop person or future person like you guys are. You do so much better at it. But I'm going to do one, probably my first one. I'm going to take Max Crosby, Defensive Player of the Year, at 22-1. I'm going to do it tomorrow because I think he's the best player in football.
I agree with you on the defensive side. He single-handedly controls a game different than any defensive end. Just, yeah. We didn't even like talk about him at all on today's show.
Really?
But it's because Geno Smith is point shaving. And so we have to examine that first before we can get into our Max Crosby analyzation.
I'm going to go one more
Go
about
ahead.
Max because he's my favorite player to watch. And I'm going to plug Baldy's breakdowns because I'm sure he's going to have one or two this week on Max. I think he's the best player in the NFL. He's so disruptive. Like, if you watch him, when I go to the game, just watch him. Like, it takes 4 people to block that guy. It's insane. Like, he is around the first guy immediately. The first tackle, he's right around. And then he gets chipped by the tight end sometimes. And then here comes the fullback or the running back. So it's really 3-on-1, and he's still sacking the quarterback. And then here's my second point. I think the Raiders should use him on offense. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, he is so athletic and big and strong and fast. Like, line that guy out and just like a Gronk, like just lob him, like,
or
he
like
jump.
in a trips, have him block for like a bubble screen.
Yeah,
He would bury somebody.
he
I actually really
throws
like that.
people like into another stratosphere, and I just love Max. He's my favorite player right now.
Yeah, that play that he made yesterday, like
Interception.
yeah, like kind of spying Caleb Williams, but just knowing the quick game was coming, is so big brain defensive IQ on 1,000. Like,
Yeah. So hopefully it hits. I'm gonna
22-1.
I gotta. So what's like the protocol? Do I send the ticket to show you that I did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This
And then we'll put it in, if it hits the rafters up here. The guests can't see it, but
Okay.
there's Nick's Bijan Robin, or no, that's
Saquon.
There's 3. I got
spoiled
3
it.
jerseys.
Yeah.
I got 3 jerseys.
Saquon,
3P, baby.
Justin
3P.
Jefferson. Okay, my Monday winner is, damn man, I'm struggling. Do I pick the Saints -1 versus the Giants because we have beef this week, and that'd be good for the show?
I think both teams shouldn't be favored. I don't think. I think if you bet that game, you have serious issues.
Cowboys -2.5 at the Jets.
Oh God.
Monday winner.
I'll tell you this much: it's gonna be 90% Cowboy fans at MetLife Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
bro. It's gonna be fucking
Always is.
electric. Yeah, it's yeah. All right, so Cowboys -2.5, Jaguars +3, Max Crosby Defensive Player of the Year. There you have it. Week 4 fallout. Jason Griggs, my dog, thank you again for coming on the show. George, thank you as always for being my road dog. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. Peace.
Later.
Element, I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course, be the venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be